Dear brothers, during the summer holidays, I was in Cambodia to preach a retreat to about 50 priests and 3 bishops from 22 countries. They are missionaries there. One thing I found was that they were all very happy in spite of the fact that they left their own respective countries and ministered to the people. Cambodia is 98% and more is Buddhist. In a tiny Christian community, ministering like that really demanded a lot of sacrifice. They were not filled with all kinds of comforts. They were hungry, they were poor. Surely they wept with the persecuted Christians. And then above all, they also experienced persecution themselves. But there was inner joy in them, working for God, really. The dependence on God. So basically, what is the greatest joy? I need God. I need my brothers and sisters. That's what counts in our life. Sometimes some of us are don't care masters. We live as though God does not exist. We live as though our brothers and sisters are part of the landscape. When Jesus addresses in Luke's Gospel, especially, blessed are you poor, not in the third person as in Matthew's Gospel. Blessed are you who are hungry. Blessed are you who are weeping. Blessed are you who are persecuted. We have to take it as if it is done to us. Am I really dependent on God, manifesting constantly my reliance on God? That is the question we have to ask ourselves. There are also 4 O's. The group that is without God, opposite of God, self-sufficiency is their mantra. They don't need anybody else. Some scholars say this is more explication of the Magnificat which Our Lady sang. The Lord looks on you with love when you are humble, poor, hungry, weeping, persecuted. And Mary said, all these who are arrogant and proud, He will cast them from their thrones. He will exalt the lowly. He will fill the poor with good things. What Luke said in the Magnificat is again repeated, I think, in these Beatitudes. In the first reading, St. Paul speaks of the new life of those who believe in Jesus the Lord. In our case, we were all baptized as children. There is an important moment, especially when we complete 7 years of age, reaching the age of discretion. Some kind of renewal of the baptismal promise. We can't live like other people, other children, other boys like that. There is a specific moment when you decided to receive First Communion and then confirmation, another stage in your growth. And then when you decided to join the minor seminary, yet another stage in your growth. Then, now that you have come to the major seminary, and each year you are going to the higher class, first year philosophy, second year philosophy, third year philosophy. Paul says, you could have been different before you were baptized. Now you can't be the same again. Like that also, we can take this passage as being addressed to us Every time we reach a different stage or advance in age, you could have been like this in the minor seminary, but you can't be like this in the major seminary. You could have been like this in the first year philosophy. You can't be like this in the third year philosophy. More mature, more committed, more loyal. And Paul mentions, today we heard a number of things. Put to death, therefore, what is earthly in you: immorality, impurity, passion, evil desire, covetousness, which is idolatry. So we have to make an examination of conscience. Are we morally upright? Are we pure? Are we without inordinate passion, evil desire? And then Paul goes on saying, in these you once walked. You might have been fighting, irresponsible when you are young, doesn't matter. Now that you have acknowledged Jesus as your Lord, how your life should be. But now put them all away. No anger, wrath, malice, slander, and foul talk from your mouth. Those of us who are angry all the time, malicious, spoiling other people's names, speaking ill of them, shouting, foul talk, all kinds of bad words, and telling lies. You have to put off the old man with his practices and put on a new man who is being renewed in knowledge after the image of his Creator. So, this is what St. Paul wants us to lead lives that are committed to the Lordship of Jesus. So, whenever we hear the Beatitudes, we have to ask ourselves, do we truly live in such a way that we show constantly and continuously our dependence on God, constantly and continuously lead a life that respects each human being? Secondly, have I really come to the next stage of being more committed to the Lord by practicing a life of compassion, gentleness? That's what we have to ask ourselves. May the Eucharistic Lord strengthen us in our resolve to follow Him, strengthen us to advance in our spiritual life, strengthen us to lead a life that is dependent on Him all the time, strengthen us to lead a life that respects and acknowledges and appreciates each human being. Amen.